Hi, this is Madeline. I am the owner of Goheen Designs, and welcome to my Plan With Me February journal video. I'm going with a self-love theme for February. Seemed very appropriate as it is the month of Valentine's Day. And as you can see, I'm just flipping through what I've already done so far. I have gotten everything to the stage where it is mapped out, it is inked in, and now I plan on coloring it. So I've never done a video like this before. I run a sewing business where I design sewing patterns, and that's kind of my side hustle. And as a side hustle to my side hustle, I also design journal pages. But I'm kind of trying to combine my side hustle and my side hustle into just one platform because it's all design. So this is me kind of tiptoeing into creating more journal content, I guess you could say. In the background here, you'll see that I'm just testing out different markers. I like to use a scrap piece of the journal to test out all the different colors so I know exactly what colors I'm working with. This month is very experimental for me. I'm trying out lots of different weekly setup layouts. I mean, they all have the same essential parts, a separate space for each day of the week, and then a rolling tasks section, which is something that I picked up from Plant-Based Bride and her journaling videos, and I wanted to give it a try. So it's kind of like you have all of your to-dos on one list for the whole week, so you don't have to keep copying things over from day to day or, forgetting that you wrote something down on Monday when it's Thursday. So they're all in one list, and there's a way to mark it so you can mark which days you worked on things and whether or not it's finished, etc. So I tried it out this month in January and I like it so far, so I'm giving it another try for February. And then some of the weekly spreads also have a place for meal planning and a grocery list because I have gotten slightly better at working on that in the past month, and so I decided maybe an actual dedicated space would be helpful. But depending on which of the weeklies you're looking at, some of them have more space than others just based on how I planned it out. And part of that is for the aesthetic and partly I wanted to see, do I like it better if the boxes are vertical or horizontal, if you have the 6 on the left page and just one day on the right, or if you go across from left to right across the whole top, just a couple of variations, just to see if I end up having any preferences. I really like how this spread is turning out. You can see that it's a conversation hearts theme. I like the mix of kind of a watercolor background with the more concrete conversation hearts. And I brought in a few extra pastel colors for this. I also wrote little sayings on the hearts, like on real conversation hearts, but I did it in white, so it's hard to see here. I think I like things more subtle, and I think on real conversation hearts, the lettering is bright pink, but I opted for white. I'm not sure how I feel about this love letter page for the weekly spread. It's fine. It's not, I'm not in love with it, but I'm glad I tried it, and we'll see how I feel about having envelopes with lines that I need to write my events around. I don't know, we'll see. I stuck with pretty neutral colors for the envelopes themselves, and then tried to make it a little more fun for the little stamps and bring in some more of those gold and pink, just because I don't plan on actually writing over the stamps, so they didn't need to be as pastel. For this next weekly spread, this one was a really fast, easy setup, just boxes and stamps. So I didn't actually draw any of these doodles, so it was very quick. I happened to find a set of stamps at, I think it was the Dollar Tree, that, fit perfectly for the Valentine's Day self-love type of theme. So I just went with it and decided to add just some color in with the stamps. But it was very fast, which I like, and it looks cute. Honestly, I like it some better than some of the other ones. And I left a huge section for the week rolling tasks, partly because I accidentally only made 6 boxes instead of 7. So that last day on the top of the right page is actually Saturday and Sunday. Speaking of mistakes, I went to write dump and put DM, caught myself partway through the M, and decided that instead of completely trying to fix it, I would just pretend that my U was kind of a stylized font and it is more of a V, but still legible. Sometimes I feel like completely correcting mistake just draws more attention to it. But I still laugh every time I see it. You're seeing a little sneak peek of my habits page here, which is supposed to look kind of like a potion bottle. We'll come back to it later. My weekday boxes in this last few days of February are shaped like hearts, and again I went like pastel so that I could write over it, and ended up doing paint to try and test out some of the paints because I wanted to do painting for the habit tracking page. And the master task dump is something I'm trying out this month, where all of those rolling weekly tasks are going to come from this master list for the month so that I can have everything written down in one place, even if I don't plan to do it till later in the month. This cute little cassette page, which turned out really cute, is kind of like a love songs theme, and it's my daily gratitude page. I've done something like this before, and I really find it fun that it's all the rays coming out from the center doodle. Each one is actually numbered, which you can kind of see here. And so every day I'll go in and write something in one of those little lines, which it gets a little interesting because they're not all the same size, but just fill in as much as I can, something that I'm thankful for that day, or sometimes it's little like fun details about what happened. And here you can kind of see, when my head's not in the way, a little typewriter with flowers. That's just for my finances page. I just leave it very open and go in every week or so and record what we've been spending money on. And at the end of the month, I give a bunch of totals. Just adding a few finishing details here to these pages before I move on to the next. Okay, going back to the actual start of my February spread, I always like to have a quote page and then kind of a cover page. And all of my quotes relate back to my word of the year. So this year my word is last, and the quote for this month is "Our first and last love is self-love." And then I have the little heart potion bottle on the right, and it says self-love in February. I find it really helpful to have every month kind of go back to my word of the year, and keeps it top of mind and helps me to kind of think about the word in a new way and explore it with different quotes and different meanings. Because a lot of times I pick a word that can be used in multiple ways. This month, very appropriate, February, love. But I wanted to do self-love, kind of make sure you love yourself and you take care of yourself. And I feel like that's especially necessary when you're pregnant, and it's way easy to overdo things. I decided to take some tracing paper to put over the label of this potion bottle, mostly because that is something that is going to be on the habits page, and I thought that it would look more cohesive if I did the same here. So I traced and cut out a almost exact replica of the label, and then outlined it, glued it on, and retraced the lettering to be on top of the label as well as underneath. I think it turned out pretty good. And then we are back to the habits page, which is interesting. I know. It is a spread that is purposefully made to be turned on its side, because what I've done for the last few months is I have my habits written out along the left side of the bottle where that piece of tracing paper will go. And then I write out all the days of the month for each habit. And then when I accomplish the habit, I will either write in the number that was in pencil, or maybe I'll circle it or color it a certain way. And I found that it works really well. It's kind of a don't break the chain type of thing, but also I for some reason find it fun to make these into very interesting shapes for the habit tracking. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. I've not entirely decided how I'm going to do it. I thought, if I could use each of the little days and color it in, it would maybe look like bubbles in the potion. But on second thought, I don't think it really will, because the bubbles would be way too even, theoretically, if I'm doing a good job of my habits. So I don't know. Which basically means I left it mostly blank. I wrote in one row at the bottom in gray, so it's kind of hard to see on the camera, where it has all of the days of the month, and decided I would just leave it at that for now. And I also haven't filled in which habits I want to do, which is something that I do as I'm putting in all my events for the month. I choose the habits, kind of reflect on what worked and what didn't work from last month, etc. This is my goals page. I like to have some goals every month that kind of go back to my yearly goals, kind of steps. And originally I thought about having a real envelope with a real piece of paper sticking out of it, because I kind of thought it would be fun, but I didn't have an envelope that was small enough to actually fit on the page, and I didn't feel like making my own. I was feeling kind of lazy at this point. So I just have a drawn letter. Here's a final flip through of the journal, all colored in and ready to be populated with the events and tasks and goals and all that for this month. I'm happy with how it turned out. Some pages I like more than others, but it was fun to really experiment with different mediums and different styles, and this was very doodly for me, which was fun. I'm excited to get in there, use it this month, see what I like, what I don't like, and be able to move forward with March with an even better spread. And I definitely didn't talk about these, but at the end of every month I have free space and a space for journaling and a space for a review of the month. But those didn't have any coloring, so I didn't really say anything about them. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll be back with more.